Hi, in this video I'll be explaining how invoicing and business accounts work in CleanCloud. Let's go and create an order. Select the customer and some items. When you submit this order, just make sure that you have invoice as the payment option. That's what we recommend if you're going to be invoicing this customer at a future date. To ensure that an order appears on an invoice when you create one, make sure that the order is at a bare minimum marked as cleaned. Otherwise, you can mark off orders otherwise as collected or delivered to the customer, for instance, and those will also then be visible on an invoice when you go to create it. It just needs to be marked as cleaned as a bare minimum. Now let's go to the invoicing section. This is a menu where you're going to be able to see all the invoices that you've already created, which ones are unpaid, paid, and otherwise repeating. You can also filter by business accounts rather than customers. Now, to create an invoice, click on the New Invoice button at the top right. We can then choose the type of invoice we're going to create. Is this an invoice that will include all unpaid orders? Is this an invoice that is just going to be a monthly invoice? Or you can also set a custom date range. If not, you also have a repeating monthly invoice option. I'm going to click on monthly for this example. So for instance, I might want to see the orders during September 2021. Then I just need to input either the customer or the business account. And search for a customer from here. And then I'm going to see the orders that they placed within September. This is also the draft invoicing screen. It will appear for monthly invoices, all unpaid order invoices, and custom date range invoices. This is what we call the draft invoice screen, and it allows you to customize a couple of things before you create the actual invoice. For instance, if you want to adjust the creation date, if otherwise you want to adjust the due date, and even if you want to apply an overall discount to this invoice, for example, 10%. Once you're happy, just go ahead and click on the Create Invoice button. This will create the invoice that we can now see at the top of our unpaid invoices list. If not, when it comes to repeating invoices, when you create a repeating monthly invoice, we can again choose the customer. We can choose to create this invoice on the first day of the month, and this is going to group together all of the orders that customer placed over the previous month. We can then choose to automatically email this out to the customers. You'll then see once it's created, it appear on the repeating invoice list. If you have set up payment integrations, for instance, if you're in the US, you might have set up Clearant. You'll then be able to even email out the invoice to the customer. When you email it out, it'll also give you a timestamp of when you sent it. And it would include a payment link so that then your customers can pay by card. As mentioned, for the US, this would be Clearant. Otherwise, most likely would be Stripe if you're in another country. You can otherwise collect payment by clicking on this button here on the right-hand side of the invoice and select the relevant payment method. You can also choose to view the invoice that has been created. You can even choose then to download these in PDF, delete any invoice that you've already created, or if you tick the box at the top left, you can also print out all of the invoices selected, send emails to each customer for the respective invoices, download them all in PDF, and even take payment for various in one go. Also, if you're using Xero or QuickBooks, we are integrated with them, and you can ultimately send over to Xero or QuickBooks any invoice that you've created in CleanCloud. Thank you for watching. To learn more about CleanCloud, simply email us at sales@clean.cloud.